All information contained in this podcast is general in nature and does not consider your individual circumstances. You should consider the appropriateness of this information with regards to your individual objectives, financial situation, and needs. Welcome to Sharing More Than the Sheets, a podcast to help you and your partner make better financial and lifestyle decisions so that you can both focus on the things that you love. I'm your host, Michael Khouri, financial planner, green thumb, husband, and just dad. This segment is called Michael's Magic Moment. It's my opportunity to play a little snippet from one of our previous episodes, which resonated with our listeners, that I received feedback from, or I felt really had an impact on some people's lives. Hope you enjoy it. So this week we go back to an episode where, you know me, I love my analogies. I give an analogy where our family bought a dishwasher, and initially we just got it installed. We started using it. It was great. But my wife and I were both doing things differently. We were using it differently. And there were things that I did that she didn't like, things that she did that I didn't like, things that, we probably didn't like. I'd probably say we didn't agree with. But we just made it work, and we just kept going by until we had a chat about it a couple of years later. Now, while it seems so small in something so insignificant, this analogy really can relate to a lot of couples in the way they manage money, in the way they make decisions. So I hope you enjoyed the episode, going on the journey with the Khouri family who bought a dishwasher, but I think you'll get something out of it. This is the tale of the dishwasher. When we first bought the house, we never had a dishwasher in the house. There was an old one, but when we renovated the kitchen, we got rid of it. And we always thought, who needs a dishwasher? What's so good about dishwashers? We can wash our own dishes. And as years went by, we became more time poor, had kids, became even more time poor, and thought, you know what, I think we need a dishwasher. So we bought a dishwasher, and it was great. It worked. It cleaned the dishes as it's supposed to. And it was a great thing to have in the house. Like, for those that have dishwashers, they would know how it works. You essentially open up the dishwasher, you clean out the dishes underwater, you rinse them under the water, and you stack them. Put a tablet in, close it, dishes get cleaned. So it's great. Apparently you actually end up saving water compared to washing dishes by hand, which I didn't even know till we started looking into it. So as far as the dishwasher is concerned, it was great. The Khouri family were happy that they had a dishwasher, but over the years, a little bit of conflict started to happen, and it actually took us a couple of years to start talking about it. And what that is I would stack things in a particular way, and my wife would stack dishes in a particular way. I thought the cups should go on the middle section. I like the plates on the bottom because you saved a bit of space. By the way, I've always loved Tetris, for the record. And she thought that some of the plates should go in the middle section because of the way they're shaped. Either way, my point is that we both had our own way of doing things. We both thought this was the better way to do it, which was fine, but it caused a bit of conflict because sometimes when she would do the dishes and stack the dishwasher, she would do it in a particular way. Sometimes I'd do it in a particular way. Sometimes the dishwasher would be half stacked. I would then go in and start stacking dishes. I'd open it up to find that she's put the plates in the middle section, and I'd have to move them to the bottom because that's just how I like it, because I don't know why, but that's just how I like it. And then I'd move the cups, I'd put the cups here, and etc. And it wasn't an issue the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, or even 50th time this happened. But it got to a point where it was actually really starting to bother me, because I was like, hold on a sec, this isn't very productive. Like, she's doing things in a particular way, I'm doing things another, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it took a couple of years for us to finally talk about it. And I sat her down, I said, we have to talk about something really important. The dishwasher. She's like, what do you mean? And I told her, and now we've sort of come to an understanding, but we've worked it out almost. The point I'm trying to make, and the reason I talk about this tale of the dishwasher, is because I was thinking about it the other day, and then it got me thinking about people's money. As couples, how many times do you, even me personally, I can tell you now, hundreds of times, if not thousands of times, I've seen couples get married or get together, start working on their money together, sharing finances, sharing accounts, but they don't talk about how things are going to be done, or they don't have a clear plan or a clear structure. And what happens is something very similar to what happened with us in the dishwasher. Initially, it's not a problem. Things work. We took too much money out of this account. Okay, let's transfer it from this account to this one. Okay, whoops, we forgot about that. Okay, no, we can fix that. That's fine. Yeah, no, all good. We're fine. He has an account, she has an account, a couple of joint accounts. Things are being done. There's something there, but it's never really been talked about properly, holistically, but there's something there. But then after a couple of years, it causes a couple of issues, a couple of stresses. People become more time poor, or life gets a bit more hectic financially. And suddenly things, the arguments start happening, disagreements. One person likes things one way, the other person likes things another. And conflict occurs, and the conflict sometimes can be dealt with really well. Sometimes it isn't dealt with properly. Sometimes it's ignored, and it just goes on and on and on, and you could sort of see where this is heading. So my point is, we bought a dishwasher, and we didn't even think about discussing the importance of working out how things should go, or at least the plan. And I know it sounds really silly, hey, let's talk about the dishwasher, but if we at least just spent 2 minutes when we first bought it and said, hey, look, I think this is where this should go, this is where that should go, or if along that 2 years, one of us realized what was happening and said, hey, we talked about it earlier, it would have saved a lot of, not arguments, we never really had arguments about it, but inefficiencies, you'd say, or time being wasted of, me doing things one way, then her coming in and doing things completely different. So if we had talked about it, it would have been a lot more efficient, and money's exactly the same thing. I've talked about it many times before, but as a couple, if you don't have a set plan or structure, or if you don't have something and you just assume that it's going to work, you are setting yourself up for conflict. You are setting yourself up for inefficiencies where, yeah, you might get by and things will get paid, but you could have done it a lot more efficiently, or you could have been a lot more productive in the way it was done. A big benefit of having everyone on the same page is that it will increase your chances of achieving your goals, because again, you both know what's going on. You can be a lot more efficient, a lot more productive, reduce arguments, and work on things together as a team. The other thing as well is you're able to work together to, I guess, know where you're heading. And again, this doesn't relate to the dishwasher anymore, but as a couple, I talk about this very regularly, that as a couple, when you have a plan and you have a structure and you know where things are at and you know what you're going to be working on, you're a lot likely to achieve your goals, and you're a lot likely to know where you're heading. For example, let's say you're saving money, but you don't really discuss what you're saving money for. One person could be saving up for a holiday and the other person could be saving up for a house deposit, or both people might think they're saving up for a holiday and a house deposit, but they haven't really discussed what's going to come first. And that's where issues can occur, and that's where conflict can occur, and that's where disagreements or maybe just, again, as I said, inefficiencies can occur. And the other thing as well is working on things together as a couple will most likely strengthen your relationship, because it means that there is an open dialogue, there is a constant discussion. It means that, yes, there's less arguments, but secondly, you both have the sense of achievement that you're working on something together. It also encourages honesty in the relationship, because if one person's honest with the other and says, listen, I don't do this really well, then the other person's going to be honest as well and probably say, well, look, I've got an issue with my spending, or gambling, or bad habits, which we all have in some way or another. The other big part, and this helps a lot, is just from a tax perspective. If you have a plan together and you're working on things, potentially you could look at tax reduction strategies together. You could look at investment strategies together. You will look at boosting investments, whether it's superannuation or something else. And the other part about it as well is your goals are more likely to be achieved compared to if you just did things separately and you just assumed that things were going to work out. So many times I will meet a couple where they're actually doing things really, really well. As far as their money's concerned, they've got things in place, they've got investments, they've got structures, they've got strategies, they've got so many things in place, but they don't talk about it. or it's been a while since they talked about it. So the other thing I want to really encourage is the importance as a couple of sitting down together regularly and just reassessing where things are going, because things might be going really well, but it's important to talk about that and to celebrate your wins and not just talk about money when things are going bad. It's also really important to talk about things regularly because, hey, you could be doing better or your goals could be widened. And I mean, as an advisor, this is what we do with our clients anyway, is talk about goals and review them every year. But you could review things regularly just to make sure that are there other goals you could be working towards? Is there something that 5 years ago you didn't think was achievable, but now it is achievable? This will all help create a solid foundation for your future. It will help you plan for the future, but it'll also mean that you can look back in 20 years and be really proud of what you've done, and not think, wow, I wish we did this or that 20 years ago. Thanks for joining us on Sharing More Than the Sheets. Please make sure you subscribe to be updated with future episode releases, and feel free to share this episode with any friends or family that you think it might benefit. Please visit us at sharingmorethanthesheets.com.au to submit questions or requests for future podcast topics. These podcasts have been brought to you by Better Financial Planning Australia. To book a 15-minute phone chat, visit betterfinancialplanning.com.au.